Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Mritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite bhavatveshini. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 11th Adhyaya of Vishwarupa Darshan, and Sri Krishna again categorically has told that, O Arjuna, what the form that you have seen, the form that you could behold with these very eyes, it is a different matter that I gave you the divine vision to have a look at it. But what you have seen is not possible for anyone to see that. It is not possible by performing any of those great meritorious acts, those great deeds which normally people when walking, trading this spiritual path, they undertake. They undertake study of Vedas, the scriptures. They perform severe austerities, so many austerities. They will do japa, tapa and all that. They will even give dana, giving things to the needy, and also performing sacrifices. But Krishna says, none of those acts, none of those great deeds, none of those meritorious acts can lead you to have this darshan of the Vishwarupa. They can give their limited benefits, no doubt about it. Certainly these are meritorious acts. Performing meritorious acts, one cannot remain without getting the desired fruits of it. This is bound to come. But those fruits, those the things that the aspirant will get would be limited to the performance of that activity and what he can get. It is not that he will get ultimate knowledge. It is not that the aspirant will get the divine vision of the great Lord. Naham vedaihi na tapasa na danena na cha ijjaya. Neither by Vedas, nor by tapas, nor by dana, nor by ijjaya. Ijjaya is sacrifices, giving up kind of. Not possible, or even the ritualistic, the rituals, performing rituals, it is not possible by any of these standard great deeds which are performed by the tapasvis and the yogis and the jnanis. Śakya ahamevaṃvidho'rjuna draṣṭuṃ draṣṭavanasi maṃ yatha. What you have seen, the form that you have seen me in, my form which you have seen, which has been made possible for you to see, cannot be attained by any of these great meritorious acts. So is there no way? Krishna is a great, compassionate Jagadguru. He can never lead us halfway through, saying it is not possible to see that form. But then what is the way? And Krishna also tells us the way, how one can see that Vishwarupa which Arjuna has got an opportunity to see. So Krishna is now here sharing some great secret of seeing that form. And is it only seeing that form? No, Krishna says there is something further than just seeing that form. Krishna says, bhaktyā tvananyayā śakya ahamevaṃvidho'rjuna jñātuṃ draṣṭuṃ ca tattvena praveṣṭuṃ ca Parantapa. This is the great secret Sri Krishna is sharing with his beloved child Arjuna. Krishna says, bhaktyā tvananyayā śakya. It is possible only through ananya bhakti. That is the key. The unswerving devotion at the lotus feet of the Lord. Bhaktyā tvananyayā śakya ahamevaṃvidho'rjuna. You can only you can see this form, this mighty, gigantic, universal form can be seen. Oh Arjuna, what you have seen, others can also see it. But how others can see? Only through ananya bhakti. Bhaktyā tvananyayā śakya. Not without that. Ananya bhakti is the key element. And that means, that automatically indicates that even Arjuna was a great devotee for that matter. He had ananya bhakti for the Lord, and that's why Lord, feeling so compassionate for his child, he showered that grace and gave him the divya chakshu, gave him that divine sight, divine vision to have a look at that mighty Vishwarupa of the great Lord. And then what happens? What Sri Krishna is saying, is it only that he will be able to see that form, ahamevaṃvidho'rjuna? It is only that form he can see. But jñātuṃ draṣṭuṃ ca tattvena praveṣṭuṃ ca Parantapa. Arjuna, with great devotion, with unswerving devotion, with one-pointed devotion, this form can be not just seen. This form can be jñātuṃ draṣṭuṃ ca tattvena. Tattvena praveṣṭuṃ. This form can be known. This form can be seen. This form of mine, one can enter praveṣṭuṃ. It is not that he will just see that form, do namaskara and go away. No. With ananya bhakti, one can see my form, what you have seen. With ananya bhakti, one can know me. One can know the relation between the devotee and the Lord. One can know what is the relation between me and this mightiest universal form. Know that relationship. Who are you to me? Who am I to you? You understand it. You get to know it, not just see it. Draṣṭuṃ, yes, you will see it. But jñātuṃ. And is that the end of having seen and known the Lord? Of having seen the Lord and known my relationship with the Lord? Is that the only thing? Krishna says, no, that is not the only thing. That is not the end. Seeing me, knowing me is just a step. Is just a step of coming forward. The ultimate end is praveṣṭuṃ. Oh Parantapa. Now Krishna is addressing Arjuna as Parantapa, the scorcher of foes. Because Arjuna is sending all his foes entering into that universal form of the Lord. As a Parantapa, as a scorcher of foes, Arjuna is going to send all his enemies. Of course, his warriors from his side also going to be in that line of people entering the great universal form of the Lord, becoming one with the Lord. And that Krishna says, it is bound to happen. But that can happen only with ananya bhakti, not without that. Oh Arjuna, only with ananya bhakti it is possible to perceive me in this form. And then again with this ananya bhakti it is possible to know me. See me, know me, and then praveṣṭuṃ, then even enter me, be one with me. And once a devotee becomes one with that Lord, what else? It is nothing but liberation. It is nothing but mukti. It is moksha. It is nirvana. And that is where we are all proceeding ahead. We are all on this path of attaining that nirvana. Some may succeed, some may stumble, again get up, again start the walk, and maybe fall on the path, but take a new body and again start the walk. So this walk is going to be there till we don't develop the ananya bhakti for the Lord. And out of that ananya bhakti, Lord becomes compassionate. Lord is forced to shower His grace with that ananya bhakti. When the bhakti is ananya, when the bhakti is unswerving, it is one-pointed. There is nothing but Lord in one's mind, in one's life, in one's entire being. The being gets filled with the Lord. And when the being gets filled with the Lord, Lord cannot avoid giving that divine vision to us. Lord cannot avoid. He is bound to give it. He is put in the compulsion by the devotee. Now I am all yours. Now you have to shower the grace. And once Lord showers the grace, that form is before us. We know who is the Lord. We get complete knowledge. Then there is no need to study Vedas and scriptures at all. There is no need to perform any tapas. There is no need to perform any alms-giving acts of doing charity, of doing philanthropy. There is no need to perform any sacrificial acts also. No yajnas. Just that ananya bhakti, and the Lord is forced to be compassionate. He cannot sit quiet then. When Lord sees such a tremendous, unswerving devotion in the heart of His child, there Lord appears before the Lord, before the devotee. The devotee sees the Lord. The devotee knows his relationship, her relationship with the Lord. And finally, like Lord said, finally it is being one with the Lord. Praveṣṭuṃ cha, O Parantapa, O scorcher of foes. The devotee can also enter me ultimately. That is what happens with this ananya bhakti, with this unswerving devotion. Ananya bhakti is unswerving devotion, single-pointed, one-pointed. There is no room for anything else in that bhakti. It is not that I want this, I want that, and therefore I am doing this puja, archana, or I am devoting myself to the Lord for seeking something. No. I am just devoting myself to the Lord just with one objective. Show me who you are. Let me know who you are, and let me come back to you. Let me be one with you. That is unswerving devotion. In this state, the sadhaka recognizes nothing but Ishvara. There is nothing in this world other than Ishvara. There is nothing in this world other than the Lord. He makes over his entire being to the Lord. That is an ultimate act of sacrifice then. Then that ijjaya that Krishna had told us about in that previous shloka of you cannot attain that state of seeing this form even by performing sacrifices. What is the ultimate sacrifice? I sacrifice myself to you. That is the ultimate. He makes over his entire being to the Lord, and then it is possible. Now that is possible only with unswerving devotion. All that he contacts through the senses and the intellect is he. Whatever I see, whatever I hear, whatever I touch, whatever I perceive in this universe is filled with the divinity of the Lord. When that state comes, that is the state of unswerving devotion. Then there is no me and you. There is no dvaita. There is no me and creation away from me. Everything is filled with the Lord. Each and every being in this universe is filled with the Lord. I see Lord everywhere. Wherever I see, I perceive nothing but the Lord. When that state comes, that is Ananya Bhakti. From the way in which the subordinates and attendants conduct themselves in a palace, the presence of the king in it can be inferred. One should not be satisfied with that inference. Now, I want to see a king. I want to visit the palace. I want to see the king. But how can I see king? First I see maybe be a gatekeeper. I start wondering, is he the king? No, but then I don't see that behavior of that gatekeeper of kingly. So I know, okay, he is a gatekeeper. Then there are some servants. Then there are so many other people. And everyone has their own bearing. No kingly behavior in any one of them. So one should not be satisfied with the inference, is he the king? Is he the king? No. One will get to know who is the king when seeing the king in person. Seeing the king in person, one knows that, okay, now this is the king. Till the time you have not seen the king, you are just inferring, is he the king? Is he the ultimate? The person who is standing next to me, is he the Lord? That is the inference that we keep on getting into using our limited senses. But when we come above those senses, when we start perceiving the divinity in each and everything around us, then comes the state of seeing Lord in everything. Then we know who is the real Lord. And then when one sees the real king, one knows, okay, he is the king. And then that knowledge dawns. So this king is there also in that other person. That person also belongs to the king. That gatekeeper also belongs to the king. This servant also belongs to the king. When that realization dawns, then the difference goes away. Seeing the king in person is superior to believing in his presence. There is a state greater than seeing the sovereign. Contact and communion with him is what is wanted. I want to see that king. I want to sit with him, talk with him, have tea, a cup of tea with him, have great fun with him. That is the attitude the devotee starts getting. I want to be one with the king. Ananya Bhakti takes the devotee through all these stages in his pursuit of the Lord. He feels first the presence of the divine. He gets the vision of the Lord next. First he senses the presence of divine. When one enters the palace, oh yes, all kingly atmosphere. It is atmosphere, yes, but not the king. And when one sees the king, oh my God, is that the thing? Is that the real thing? Then the devotee gets the vision of the Lord. Then he moves intimately with him. When king says, come my dear friend, come sit with me here on the throne. Come, have some sweets with me. Let us have some snacks. Let us have some tea. When that happens, then he moves intimately with him until the unison is reached. And then finally what happens? That king says, oh my dear friend, you have been away for such a long time. You have been enjoying this life of yours in this creation for such a long time. You have been getting into this cycle of life and death for such a long time. Now come, enough of it. Here, come and hug me. Come and embrace me. Be one with me. When that stage comes, that is the ultimate liberation. That is the stage of ultimate moksha. And therefore Sri Krishna says, with that kind of unswerving devotion, one can perceive my presence around. One can see me, one can know me, and even in the end, one can be one with me. Praveṣṭuṃ. And that is, let us not forget that as our ultimate objective. Our ultimate objective is praveṣṭuṃ, being one with the Lord. And that is why our journey is going on and on and on through all these so many endless births and deaths, and the births and deaths. Unswerving devotion provides all these possibilities of seeing, meeting, knowing, and then being one with the Lord. Without that, it is not possible. The ananya bhakti. So this is the great secret Krishna has shared with us. Sri Ramakrishna has got a beautiful thing to share with us on this. Sri Ramakrishna says, many have heard of milk. Yes, many have heard of milk. But those who have seen it are lesser in numbers. Maybe theoretically, millions and trillions of people might have heard about milk. But not all those who have heard about milk have seen what milk is. This is what happens with everything. We may have heard about so many things, but the actual thing, can we see? Has everyone seen? No. Milk, so many people might have heard about it. But a few might have seen what milk is. Oh, it is a white colored liquid. It comes from the udder of the cow or buffalo or goat, the mammals. And then some might have just seen it. But a very few could have got the opportunity of actually drink the milk and get nourishment out of it. There are so many people who don't even have that fortune, who are not even who don't have that opportunity to take any nourishment from milk. They are so poor, possibly. So it is not that all who have heard about milk have seen it. A few have seen it. And even among those who have seen the milk, some have got the opportunity to taste it, drink it regularly and get nourishment out of it. This is what Sri Ramakrishna says. Even such is the contact of man with God. Many people have heard about God. Yes, almost everyone has heard about God. Even the atheists have heard about God. But who has seen God? A big question mark, isn't it? Who has seen God? Heard? Yes, everyone has heard about God. How many have seen the God? How many are even walking that path of leading towards God? And of those who have started walking on the path that leads towards God, how many have actually met the God? How many have actually embraced the God? How many have got into that state of becoming one with the God? That is a beautiful example that Sri Ramakrishna has given. Then Sri Ramakrishna further says, he tells, a talk arose whether man can see God with his physical eyes. Now, is it possible to see God with his physical eyes? We see so many things with these physical eyes. But then, these physical eyes have their own limitations. Our senses are limited. All our senses are limited. Forget about the eyes. Even our hearing is limited. Our touching is limited. All our senses, they are so limited. We can only perceive to some extent the reality in this universe. We can't realize, we can't perceive this entire reality of this universe. So, he cannot be perceived with fleshy eyes, Sri Ramakrishna says. When bhakti is practiced, when that ananya bhakti, when sadhaka develops, then the sadhaka develops a superior sense organs. When that ananya bhakti crops up in mind, then the sadhaka, the aspirant, he gets much superior instruments. He gets much superior, much powerful instruments, like the divine vision that Krishna had showered on Arjuna, that Krishna had given to Arjuna to see that universal form. The superior sense organs has the power to see and hear supermundane things. then we become totally different people. Then our sense of perception is heightened to an unending extent. Then we are able to see that limitless. We are able to view that limitless. We are able to view that Vishwarupa. With that spiritual eye, God is beheld and the devotee is commingled with him. Only after getting the Ananya Bhakti, Sri Ramakrishna says, like Sri Krishna says, with Ananya Bhakti, you can see, you can know, you can be one with me. Sri Ramakrishna says, only when that Ananya Bhakti crops up in the mind of the devotee, in the heart of the aspirant, only then the devotee, the aspirant, gets that spiritual sight, that divine vision, that divya chakshu that Sri Krishna is talking about. Not with these fleshy eyes, not with these physical eyes. None of our physical senses are capable of perceiving the reality. They are so limited. They are so weak for that matter. They cannot withhold that ultimate reality. Therefore, Ananya Bhakti is the key to being one with the Lord, seeing the Lord, knowing the Lord, and finally being one with the Lord. So that was the 54th shloka that we read, and in our next shloka that Sri Krishna is going to tell us, that would be the ultimate shloka of this 11th adhyaya, and then we will move forward on the other path that Sri Krishna is going to show us. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.